Accell's rescue collapses. What now for Raleigh, Haibike, Ghost and Lapierre. Published by Radical Life Studios and the MTB report. A few weeks ago, we reported that the Accell Group had found a buyer and the rescue looked done. It isn't. The deal has collapsed, the group is in insolvency, and brands that looked safe, Raleigh, Haibike, Ghost, Winora, Lapierre,
MTB report,
are suddenly anything but. Here's what happened and what it means if one of them is sitting in your shed. The recap is short. On July 8th, 2026, Germany's competition regulator cleared the takeover of the Accell Group by Dutech, a Singapore-listed group headed by businessman Johnny Liu. Austria and Poland had signed off too. Everything pointed to an orderly fresh start. We said as much at the time. All that was left was to close the deal. The closing never came. Neither Accell nor Dutech has publicly explained why the takeover fell apart at the last moment. Instead of new ownership, August 5th, 2026 brought an insolvency filing. If you read our July piece, the story has flipped on its head.
MTB,
Accell says it can no longer meet its financial obligations. In the Netherlands, it has been granted a provisional suspension of payments, court-approved breathing space that is already part of an insolvency process, not a way of dodging one. The fallout reaches a shelf full of names ordinary riders actually buy. Raleigh, a British institution born in Nottingham, alongside Haibike, Ghost, Winora, Lapierre, Batavis, Koga and Sparta, plus the cargo brands Babbo and Carcon and the parts label XLC. There's an important wrinkle, and it's good news of a sort. The German companies, including Haibike, Ghost and Winora, have gone into self-administered insolvency, a German procedure in which existing management stays in charge under court supervision with the stated aim of keeping the business trading and finding an investor to lift the brands out of the failed parent. France's Lapierre, meanwhile, has filed for court-supervised reorganization in Dijon to save around 100 jobs. In other words, this is an attempt at rescue under supervision, not a switch-off. This is the question that counts, and the honest answer for now is a lot is still up in the air. Accell hasn't spelled out what the process means for deliveries, warranty claims, servicing, and the big one, spare parts. That's exactly what riders are asking across the forums. Less about badge prestige, more about the practical. Can I still get parts? Will my warranty be honored? Can my local shop keep getting supplied? No need to panic. A bike that rolls keeps rolling, and the German arms self-administration is explicitly meant to keep things trading. But a few level-headed steps won't hurt. If you have an open warranty claim, put it to your dealer promptly and in writing. If you need a wear part or a spare anyway, buy it sooner rather than later. And if you're eyeing a new bike from one of these brands, ask the dealer straight out about warranty and parts cover. A good shop won't take the question badly. Insolvency isn't the end, but it is uncertainty. And that lands first on the people who've already bought a bike. The backstory is a cautionary tale, and here the report turns into an opinion. At the peak of the pandemic bike boom in 2022, US investment firm KKR bought the Accell Group for around 1.56 billion euros, roughly 1.35 billion pounds to $1.8 billion. One of the highest profile finance bets on the lockdown cycling surge. The bet went bad. When demand collapsed after the boom, Accell was left sitting on mountains of unsold stock, discounting hard and bleeding money. KKR's losses have been put at over 1 billion euros. Early in 2026, the firm walked away and handed control to the group's lenders, who went looking for a buyer and thought they had found one in Dutech. Read it the way we do. Financial capital overreached on a boom that was never going to last. And the ones left holding the bill aren't the funds. They're the workers, the dealers, and, if it goes badly, the customers with an open warranty claim. That's an opinion, but one the facts support. For context, Accell isn't the only name wobbling. Britain's own Orange Bikes has an administrator. Austria's Simplon filed for insolvency back in 2024. The pattern is always the same. Boom, overproduction, price war, slump. The industry is still nursing the hangover from the big party. Accell is the biggest name on the list so far. It probably won't be the last. The realistic scenarios run from a broadly intact rescue through a breakup in which individual brands find individual buyers to some brands simply being retired. For Raleigh, Haibike, Ghost and Winora, the investor search now underway in self-administration will decide which way it goes. We'll stay on it and report back as soon as there's anything firm on supply, warranties, and the future of the brands.
MTB report.